something. Let's see. Okay, just give this a minute because sometimes, okay, here we go. So, okay, so this is Lynn Girardi from wholelifeboogie.com, and I'm here today interviewing my new friend and fellow Abraham Hicks fan and songwriter, speaker. He'll tell you more, but my new friend Tim McGinnis. Tim, hi, welcome. Thanks for doing this.
Hello.
Hello.
Here we are, ready for the fun.
Yes, excellent. So I just wanted to mention that Tim is also known as Dr. Fun and the Collective, right? And I'm just going to say that
I can't deny it.
Excellent. And I was just going to say one of the things that you have written on your Facebook page is that, and you feel free to elaborate on this or whatever, is that you describe yourself as a songwriter, rhymer, speaker, poet, inventor of transformational resources, motivator, listener, and linguist. And I love what you said here, is that you love to entertain, educate, and inspire people to have fun and to live from the heart.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, you really wrote a good line there.
Yeah, live from the heart. Have fun and live from the heart. Those usually go together.
Yes, exactly. And actually, when I read that on your page, I thought now I see why I am attracted to your work, because that's kind of like what I like to help people to do. Right. I always put fun and inspiration together in one sentence, and living from the heart, following your passions, and anything that has to do with music, I love. So I'm looking forward to you introducing your songs to whoever in our audience that will be tuning into this. And anything you want to say before I ask you any questions?
Well, fun and inspiration. We just call it funspiration.
Oh, I like that. Funspiration.
I'm all about the funspiration.
Yes, funspiration instead of perspiration.
Yes, exactly. There's no perspiration in funspiration. Sometimes there is, but not in a good way.
Yes. And actually, you know what? You're kind of making me. Well, first of all, do you want to mention a little bit about the origins of how you came up with that name, Dr. Fun and the Collective?
You read my mind, because I really think that's a fun story, and it's something that's fairly new to me. I don't feel wed to any one word or description, but this one feels fun for today.
Right.
And most of my work is under Dream Catalyst, which is what I saw myself even in a younger age.
Oh.
But Dr. Fun came. I was volunteering at the local marathon here in San Diego, and the first day I volunteered for 2 days. And the first day I went, and I was put my name tag Tim, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty, that's a name. The next day I said, I had decided I'm going to make the most of this. I'm volunteering. I'm going to just have fun. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put Dr. Fun on my name tag.
Yeah.
And it felt like I was telling other people how to treat me. And I really think that's important, is other people will treat us according to our vibration. And that during that day, people would see my name tag and go, oh, Dr. Fun. And that would give me a chance to just say, yeah, and sing a song or just interact with them. And I said,
oh, I love it.
I like the name Dr. Fun because doctor, I have a history. I have a master's degree in counseling. I used to be very involved in counseling and psychology.
Oh, wonderful.
And so I really do love understanding the meanings and the research and what's going on. But in all of my years of studying and trying to be happy, I realized that the solution was do what you can to have fun.
Right.
And so that's where doctor and fun come together. Is like the fun is the solution. And sometimes finding the fun takes some practice, takes some work, takes some trial and error.
Right.
And then the collective was, as I would get the collective part of it, I wanted a name for kind of my spiritual influences. And so as I would get happy, and I would just get these songs or these poems that would just almost come into my head fully formed.
Wow.
And I thought, that's just, I'm just receiving that. I'm not sitting down with a pencil and paper and making rough drafts and trying, right? And I was like, this is fun. And so I decided that the Dr. Fun Collective is me and all of my friends who want to have fun, who love inspiring, who love understanding the meaning of life, but in a very fun way, because to me, being really spiritual and serious is kind of missing the point, because the children are the most spiritual of all of us, and they love having fun. So that's how it all fits together.
Excellent. And, you know, this is very exciting to me because, you know, even just from your Facebook page and everything, I mean, I feel I'm already, and the audience too, I'm already learning more about you just from that. I mean, I just think that's just that, what you mentioned about that you started in counseling, and then it's like you expanded into this, you know, this more fun spiritual, you know, angle on everything, and kind of, I just, that's really fascinating to me. That's great, really great. And let me see. So, okay,
let me step in here. It really is about an evolution of our understanding. I was curious about spirituality and meaning of life when I was a teenager. I remember reading Dr. Wayne Dyer, Your Erroneous Zones. My parents had it in their bookshelf, and I was still a high schooler, and I spent most of my life as a very devout Christian. I went around the world telling others about Jesus, and I was I went to Africa, Middle East, Asia. I've been over the Silk Road. I've been to so many amazing places, met so many amazing people. And yet something in me just still wanted to keep evolving, keep learning. And it's sometimes, as you know, it comes through difficulties that were like, this still isn't it. You know, and it's like, so I've continued to evolve, and now I'm here, so happy. I feel like this is the click, and it's just so fun to be in this phase of my life.
Wow, that's amazing. And actually, it sounds like you know, if you haven't done it or thought of it yet, it sounds like you've got a book in you. You know, I mean, that already sounds fascinating to me. But and you know, and I know that, like, even with the Abraham Hicks philosophy on things, it's sort of like, you know, how and Abraham Hicks, we're talking about Esther Hicks, and Abraham is the inspiration that flows through her, and you know, a lot of times, like, they talk about, you know, well, when people say, oh, you know, how have you been? And it's like, you know, it's not how I've been. It's like, you know, like, it's sort of like how I'm doing, like where I'm going, you know. So that's why I don't want to spend. Right. You know, because at first I was thinking, oh, I should ask him more about, you know, the past part, you know, of what he's done. And weren't you also like a high school teacher or something, or no? Did you do it?
I was a public school teacher for over 10 years. In Los Angeles, and I've always been an adventurous person, so I taught inner city. I was a bilingual teacher, so I learned Spanish. I've always looked for adventure. I've always looked for extreme experiences, and I always wanted to just I never wanted to do what everyone else was doing. You know, when I go on a hike with people, I'm the one who's always up ahead looking around the corner. And I really do think I love looking around the corner. If everybody else is talking about it, it's already old. So I want to be the one who's asking the new questions. I always have been that way. Right,
like the visionary and all of that, I would think. Someone who thinks something first. And you must have been the, like, what I can picture as a student in high school or whatever. You must have been the cool, fun teacher, right?
You know what? That was actually my downfall too, because I loved being cool, but the school day is a long day. So being cool, that's why I love my songs. I mean, that's a great segue. That's why I love my songs and my poems and my rhymes, is because I get a burst of inspiration, I record it, I put it up, and then I move on. Teaching, you can tell a great joke and the kids are cracking up, and you got 40 more minutes of the class to teach. So that was the part where I felt like, I want to just go, thank you, good night. Drop the mic and be like, thank you, good night. And they're like, teacher, the bell didn't ring yet. I'm like, oh, what are we going to do now?
Oh, good. So,
and I did that. I did that for over 10 years. I have many stories about that, but they're not as fun as just the stories of just today and now.
Exactly, exactly, and that's why I just wanted to briefly mention it and not dwell there. But so I mean, where would you like to start with this? Because you've got a lot of songs. I mean, like, one of the things we had somewhat previously discussed was was, what your experience, talking about what your experience with Abraham Hicks and feeling good is. And would you like to start there, or you want to jump right into?
Yeah, we could do a brief history. People often say, how long have you been into Abe? And first I say, Abe's into me.
Yeah.
I like to play with words and ideas, and like they say, we're following you. You're on the leading edge. We're following you. But they do give us an insight into where our expanded self and how our higher being is living, and that's really helpful. I was in LA at the time, and I actually got asked and is given as an audiobook from the local library, and I was I was really interested. And then I went to a Vortex group that was like a meetup group, and then it just started evolving into where that was about 5 years ago. So I don't do anything halfway. So I wanted to listen to every workshop, every recording.
Right.
I wanted to know, because I like to just search every corner of the idea. So that brought me to Abraham, which says, get happy.
Yeah.
That's the conclusion. But the thing is, when we've lived other ways than getting happy, we're like, well, how do I get happy considering this?
The challenges.
Like, well, you don't understand my life. I have, and everyone's got a story. Everyone's got, well, I have these issues. So when you say get happy, that's easy for you to say. It's like, well, it's not easy for anyone to say, and it is hard work. The work of getting happy takes focus, takes practice, takes day after day, and but it works. It works like anything. Abraham says a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So you got to take your attention off those things that you don't like, and it's like, no, but I got to take care of it. It's like, if there's some food burning in the oven, go take care of it.
Right.
But to the best of our ability, to just take our eyes off of those things and focus where we want to go, and little by little, we're gonna find more of those things in our experience, and it's true.
Excellent.
It's so true. I can't remember what it feels like to be lonely. I can't remember.
Fantastic.
I lived most of my life. I could have told you that feeling for hours, and now I can't remember it.
Wow, that's terrific.
I stopped thinking about it. People say, no, but you don't understand. I'm lonely. It's like, I understand.
Right.
Everyone has those feelings, but we have to at some point say, focusing on the unwanted feeling only adds momentum to the feeling. Doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't it doesn't help resolve the feeling. It actually gives more momentum to it, and that's important.
Right. And it's interesting because just what you're saying here is reminding me the reason why I'm such a fan of the Abe Hicks material and philosophy is that it just really seems to work. I mean, when you actually do, follow the ideas and everything, and it just seems to work if you really put things into practice. Sometimes I think, geez, people must just think, what are you, crazy? You're always talking about this. But for me, it's just, the proof is in the pudding, as they would say. So, so as far as the songs go, how do your songs impact your alignment, or how do they help you to stay in what Abraham calls the receptive mode, which I love that lately, that term. Yeah.
Great question. The songs are really an expression of we all have a unique energy pattern and an energy flow. And I'm a very live in the moment type of person, and I get bursts of energy. So as I'm walking through the streets and I'm starting to think about an issue or a problem or something I want to resolve, oftentimes a song will come that is a solution.
Wow.
Like I already wrote a song today. It says, a line, the best use of my time. That always feels so good to me. A line.
Beautiful.
And it just takes a basic concept and puts it in a little song form. And the idea is that they're sticky. This is important. They're not songs. They're not 3 minutes with a bridge and 3 verses and a chorus. They're meant to be sticky. And they come back. I appreciate the songs just like everybody else. They come back to me. I reflect on them. And what the songs do, Lynn, is the songs take us out of the figure it out mode. Abraham and Einstein said you can't dig into the problem and find the solution. They're not in the same place.
Right.
Same place. So how do we go from a problem to a solution when sometimes we can just go go meditate. But to me, I'm much more of a high energy person. So the songs give me something to focus on that's a non-resistant energy, and it puts me in more the receptive mode, puts me more in an easy, ease and flow.
Yes.
And I love how they come like the dew on the grass. They just come, and I just love how easy they are, but I love how my whole life has been building up to this point where they come easy.
Wow. And how
you know what I mean?
Have you been? Have these songs been coming to you? How long have they been coming to you?
Well, they first started coming when I was in San Francisco about 3 or 4 years ago. I did a lot of walking in San Francisco, and they were a bit longer. They were a bit more complex.
Right.
Like clarity, you are the way for me. The desires of my heart are clear to see. The universe is supporting me as I take each step with clarity. It repeats. That's a sweet little song, but it's a little involved. Okay?
Right.
And then I did one that's like everything in its perfect time. Everything is unfolding, and I'm enjoying where I am in relation to where I'm going. Content where I am and eager for more. Now I sped that up because that's an Abraham verse. So they kind of started off as more verses and longer, and I felt they needed to be simpler because you put too many elements and people won't remember them.
Right.
That's why we all remember our favorite song. We remember the chorus. We don't remember the third verse and the second verse and the first verse.
Right.
So that's kind of the little inklings that I get is keep it simple.
Yeah.
And keep it catchy. And I call them sticky songs. People call them, because many of us said they're earworms. And that's the idea. The idea is we have a musical side of our mind. And if we can replace our musical mind, like, tell me how am I supposed to live without?
Right.
That's the stuff we have there.
I know.
Like,
it's all over the radio.
The heart and you're to blame, darling. You give love a bad. Like, okay, what? It's all sad. Usually, they're all sad stories. So why don't we make some happy stories? Why don't we make things that are actually going to help us stay in alignment?
Exactly.
And that's the idea behind it.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and it's true because and that's what you want to tune into, whether it's on just like even on if you're watching television or the radio, you want to tune into the positive messages, and it's not always that easy to find. So these songs are making it easier to you're making these positive, entertaining messages easier to find just by putting these on Facebook and sharing them with everybody. So thank you so much. I'm walking around lately, and I have your songs in my head.
I know.
Yes.
Well, so do I. It's like they're not even mine, but they're
inspired.
It's amazing. And there was you're bringing up a point. I love how I just want to say, things always unfold in the perfect time, in the perfect way.
Yes.
And I've loved how I've let these songs flow. I've let them come naturally, and I'm building up. Like right now on my Facebook page and YouTube, I have over 100 videos.
Really?
Most are songs. And I'm like, oh, really? And
wow.
I was just doing SoundCloud and just doing audio.
Right.
I said, I know I'm going to do more videos. And it was one day I had an appointment, and I was walking to the mall, and I said, I'm going to record this song. And it was I see money walking through my door, whatever. And then it started to rain, and I was in the mall. And so I went into a Macy's department store, and I said, I'm going to go I was feeling really frisky. I said, I'm going to take one of these really nice polo shirts. It was like a really colorful polo shirt. And I was back in the corner, and I set up my camera, my phone, and I put on the shirt. And that's when I said, I focus on feeling good right now. I find the best feeling thoughtful, feeling good right now. And people it got like 5,000 views. And I said, oh, my Lanta. I said, one lady in Spain had her daughters make a remake of it. Focus, I'm feeling good. And I realized it was a new era. It was a new era. And since then, every one of my songs has at least 1,000 views, some up to 2 or 3 or 4,000. And I realized that people will watch a video that's on Facebook because it kind of streams. It's on your page.
Yeah.
But when you put just a plain link, you have to go to another site, and it's a little more. So that's been why I've used Facebook more than YouTube for my videos, because they're more accessible.
Yes.
To people.
Yeah, because I haven't. I got to look. I have to look at the. I must not have been looking in the right spot, because I didn't realize you had 100 videos on YouTube. I don't know where I was. So that's excellent for anybody, especially who's listening. So to go to YouTube and find you go to. Not to get all into the just like the logistics of it right now, but you just type in Tim McGinnis or Dr. Fun. How do you find that spot?
Well, right now the suffix, the ending of both is Dream Catalyst, one word. Facebook.com/Dream Catalyst, YouTube.com Dream Catalyst, and you can put the links in your notes maybe for people. But
yes.
But the thing with the Facebook page is interesting. If you're on a mobile phone, there's no videos folder. But if you're in the computer, there's a videos folder on my profile, and you can see all of them there. So the better thing about YouTube is that they're named. In Facebook, they don't have the name on the video, so you kind of have to click and see what it is. Yes.
So, okay, so if someone wants to go, so if they go to YouTube, though, specifically, they look under Dream Catalyst?
They put youtube.com/Dream Catalyst, one word, and that'll be my YouTube page.
Okay.
And I've also got other videos I've done that are perfect.
Oh.
I do everything outside, so this is perfect for the guy.
Oh, it's okay.
There's older videos, too, I did, some teaching videos and some different things, but the songs are mostly what I do now.
All right, excellent. So like you said, I'll put those notes out there with the link. But so now the big thing that I really wanted to hear about, which was very exciting to experience through your Facebook page, was that you made it to the Abraham Hicks hot seat at
that's
right, their most recent event.
That's so funny, because when you said that just now, when you said that, there's a really big thing I want to talk about. I'm like, what's it going to be? Like, I had totally forgotten that I was so having so much fun talking about the songs. I forgot that I got in the hot seat a couple weeks ago.
Right, and just so people who might not know about the hot seat. Do you want to tell them what that is? I've said it in my last video interview with someone, but what would you say the hot seat is? Yeah.
Well, briefly, it's when Abraham Hicks, Esther, does the workshops. They do it in the format of a brief teaching, and then they let people come up and ask questions. But the way they select that is kind of unknown, in the sense they look out as a non-physical entity at the audience, and there's 50 people, 60 people raising their hands, and they just pick the person that's lighting up the brightest. And so nobody really knows if they're going to be chosen or not. Right.
They're really looking at the energy, right? I mean, supposedly, like, you have to kind of be in alignment enough that your energy is kind of shining bright, is from my understanding.
Yes, and also they pick people who have a strong desire, obviously, but also that serve kind of the general group's momentum where everyone else is going. So they might have a question that really is on the other people's minds too,
Right. So tell us then. So you were, because I was following along that day, I happened to see, you were posting, you were an attendee, you were posting your videos, talking to your fans out there like myself on Facebook, that it was just like we were there with you, right? And it was like you did 2 videos, as the lecture was going on. And you were saying that you said that you had a feeling that you were going to go, and it would be best if you went last.
Yes.
Right? You want to tell us about that, and then what happened?
Well, yeah. Let me do a little background. I wasn't planning on going to the workshops because I'm such a high energy, hyper person. I personally don't like sitting for anywhere for 3 hours.
Right.
But a friend was supposed to come out, and she had to cancel, and she goes, I want you to have my ticket. I said, well, right now I can't. And she gave me everything I needed to get there, and I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
I was a little bit like, well, I guess. And she said, well, I put the ticket in your name, so it's there. And I was like, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So the moment I decided I was going to do it, I said, if I'm going big or I'm going home. I said, I'm bringing Dr. Fun, and I'm such a communicator. I like to share what's on my mind. So I said the night before, I said, big news, breaking news. I'm going to be at the conference in 12 hours. I'm going to be reporting live from the, and so I got there, and my favorite mode to be in is I like to speak. I like to communicate. And so I said, I'm going to show up there, and I'm going to give people a feeling of what it's like to be there.
Yeah, you definitely
and so I got there. I did. I was so amazed at how people enjoyed it so much. Because I know a lot of people live in places where they don't have access, or they just want to know what's it like, because it's almost like the holy grail of like, oh, I went into the workshop, and there's only 200 or 300 people usually go, and there's who knows. So I got there, and I was so excited, and I did the pre-video. I walked through, and I showed everybody, and I did a couple shots, and then I went and good morning. We're extremely, they did the thing, and and then I was like, so there were some couple people that got up and spoke, and so when I did my first video, I was excited. I did Sublime. I said, this is happening. The reason you aren't going where you want to go is you're too busy looking at where you are.
Right,
and
right.
It's such a habit that we have, and so I was fired up.
About feeling good. About feeling good, right? Because that actually got me. Because when you said it, even in those one or two first videos, you said, people, you don't realize you don't have to come to the place. You don't have to go to the lecture and the books. Like, is it getting through to you yet? You just have to feel good.
Well, yeah, it does take a lot of repeating. And I was so fired up. And then I was uploading them real time. And most people that got up talk about something that they wanted clarification with, or something that went wrong, and that and Abraham was gladly giving them instruction, and some really cool ideas came. And I'm like, I said, if I get up, I'm just gonna sing. I said, if I get up, I'm just gonna sing.
I love that.
That's all I knew. I have no questions. I don't want to bring up any issues. I'm gonna just sing. I'm not gonna talk. I don't need to talk to Abraham. I'm just gonna sing.
I'm just gonna sing and get out of there.
I'm just gonna sing. That's all I'm gonna do.
Right.
So then the second segment, same thing, people coming up with different issues, and I was like, I gotta, I'm just so excited, I gotta get out next. So I did my second video, and then the third segment was coming, and they talked to a couple of people. I'm like, it's getting toward the end now. It's getting like 30 minutes left, and I said, so boom, my hand went up, and I was like, I can feel the energy right now. It makes me almost tremble in my voice. I said, I'm gonna get up there, I'm just gonna sing. And they looked at me, and they pointed. I'm like, me? I was like, and I went, woo! I was literally like, just like, yes, because all the times you think it'd be really cool if I won the lottery. We have it'd be really cool if I met so and so at this hotel or whatever. Yeah. And yet it's like, well, next time. So I wasn't sure if I was going to get up. I didn't have some people say I knew I was going to get up. I didn't know, but I did know that what I wanted to do wouldn't fit in between two people that were talking about contrast. Because you don't sing and then go back to contrast again. Right. So I got up, and I was jumping and hooting and hollering, and I just got up and I said, I love knowing. No, wait. I said, everything's unfolding perfectly for me. Oh. Everything's unfolding perfectly for me. Everything's unfolding perfectly for me. Everything's unfolding perfectly for me. Beautiful. And then Abraham looked at me and said, okay, now again, let's all sing along. Oh, my God, that's so exciting. And I said, and everybody sang along. I was like, I was doing like so many high fives and fist pumps, and I was just like, oh my God, because it's really, it becomes surreal, because it's like you enter in this different, you're floating, Yeah. And then they're looking at me, and I'm just like, receptive mode, it's where I love to be. When I'm in receptive mode, I feel so fine and free. And then they still kept looking at me, and I said, I'm tuning my dial to the feeling of abundance. I'm tuning my dial to the things that feel good. I'm tuning my dial to the things that make me happy. Now the things that make me happy got me feeling so good. Wow. Because those songs were kind of related to the topics. They talked about tuning and receptive mode. And so I think that's why those songs became like at the forefront of my mind then. I would have, I could have done, I'm going to stay in the vortex. There's so many different little songs. And then they said, well, from what we heard, those songs were definitely written in receptive mode and they're in alignment. And I'm like, yeah, duh.
Yeah, right.
I guess those people needed to know that because I didn't need to know that.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
And
right.
then I just said, that's it. And I go, yeah, we think so. And I just jumped up and
left.
hoot and hollered back to my seat. And
wow.
From that point on, I didn't remember anything. I was just like, and then I posted on my Facebook. I just because people are like, I think you're going to get up. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad you think so. I didn't, I didn't have like that inner knowing or whatever.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But you did say, but in that second video of the 3, right, you did say that you kind of felt that you would, or you just said that would seem to be the best place for it. Is that what you were saying? Because I kind of felt like
even after the first, I think I said that after the first video.
Oh, okay.
Even.
Because
I said, with what I want to do, it's kind of it's not something that can fit in the flow of the other things. And I just said, if I do get up, it's probably going to be at the end. I just feel like it wasn't going to be in between the different people's questions and stuff.
Right. It was like the grand finale, with the entertainment part.
Which I love. I love being the closing act. I love being the big, I'm big energy, big, Right. That always fits me.
That was such a good fit. I mean, that was so exciting to hear about that. And as you're talking, telling us this story, I mean, I feel like I'm probably not the only one who listens to this and feels like they're there. I mean, and I almost feel like I was in that audience just by listening to your explanation of the whole thing. So thank you. It's really, and I've been in those situations a couple of times where it almost feels like you're in a crowd of people and it's such a positive experience and everybody's like kind of in that joyful state that it's almost electric is the best way I could describe it. It almost feels like there's and I'm not someone who picks up on, like, people say, oh, I feel energy, I feel or see energy. But sometimes in cases like that where everybody is so like joyful or getting such a kick out of something that's kind of really fun, there's almost like an electricity I feel in the air. So I'm sure that was there. And I want to get that, that audio or whatever. I know they don't do video copies of their seminars all the time, but I want to get that and hear the real thing, of the whole that whole segment. But so now there was something else I wanted to. Let me just see something here. Oh, you had mentioned something about that you were teaching bilingually. Did you ever think of doing these songs in Spanish?
Well, I have in my vortex. I just feel that, how you just kind of go, oh, that makes sense. Because one of the songs I did in Russian, and I just met a Ukrainian woman one day, and we were hanging out at a hotel lobby, and I told her what I did, and we ended up making a whole Russian song. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. And
well, right now that's not where the energy probably is for you. The excitement is just in.
Say that again.
Probably that's probably not really where the energy is like attracting you right now. It's just keeping this momentum going with the with the English stuff, which I appreciate. That's all I understand it in.
There seems to be, like I said, a natural unfolding, and that's really something that I want to remind people. It's something that's been really, really I've appreciated in my life, is to let things unfold naturally. And Abraham talks about this a lot. When people they get really excited about a business and they can't wait, and then they take action too soon. And
that's a good point.
Basically, it brings everything to a halt, because now they're doing things all day that don't fill them with joy, and the joy dries up. And that's what, stay in the sweet spot. Stay in the sweet spot and let somebody else. So I'm going to just stay in my sweet spot, doing what I love. And then when someone else says, hey, my sweet spot's marketing, my sweet spot's, production, I'm like, whoa, that's all. But I'm not going to go, people say, oh, those are great songs, you should get them. I'm like, should? No, I don't use that word should. It's like, it's a perfect time. Everything's unfolding perfectly for me. And it's just staying in that sweet spot. That's really what the message is. Stay in your sweet spot. Stay there. Don't get excited. Don't be like, oh my God, this is such a great song. Let me think how I could do these other things, because what happens is you lose the momentum of the sweet spot.
That,
and
this
so,
is excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of other languages, I'm like, I've been a public school teacher. I've been a therapist. I've been a life coach. I know what it's like to help people.
Yeah.
But I also know that it needs to be fun for me. That's my other message.
Definitely.
I was talking to a friend today. I said, you know how you know what your calling is? Do what's the most fun for you.
Yeah.
So do what's most fun for you. Do what's most fun for you. That's how you know. And it's going to help others. But if it's not fun for you, then that's not your calling.
Right. Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
The ideal is keep having fun. And so when it comes to different countries and languages, I actually love other languages. I love other cultures. So I know that's got to be part of the equation. But it doesn't feel fun today.
Exactly.
So that, like, it's not for today. How do you know what to do today? Whatever sounds fun.
Right.
But I have things I need to do. Well, make them more fun or don't do them.
Right. Wow. That's great, because all of this that you're saying, a lot of the people that will be listening to this, or a lot of people that I'm in contact with, are people who are entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs, and a lot of us are working on building businesses. And just what you said about not, as they would say, not shoulding on yourself, not taking the should route. Finding a sweet spot, following the fun, the passion. These are great tips, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. Is that so? Like the number one thing you would say for moving ahead in one's career or one's business, again, what would be just doing?
Well, let me say this again. I've been a student of energy and ambition, and I love all the big names and the billionaires and the movers and shakers. And what I've found is many times entrepreneurs and are high energy, ambitious, goal-oriented people, and it's like it always comes back down to, is it fun?
Yes.
I was watching an interview with Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
And a guy said, "Oh, do you find yourself doing a lot of work at home?" Like, he started to look at an email. He goes, "This doesn't work. I like doing this."
Right.
I've heard over and over from different talents, and they say, I would do this for free. And I think that as soon as it becomes work, what you're doing is you're stepping out of your sweet spot. You're stepping out of your primary energy flow.
Yeah.
And I think it does take a high degree of trust, Lynn, to say, if I stay in my sweet spot and do what I love, will I just be here the rest of my life doing what I love and no one will ever read my stuff? No. But you have, put it this way. If what we're doing when we stay in our sweet spot is we're building momentum and we're building stability. We need momentum. Sometimes you can have momentum without stability and you're a crazy ride. You can have stability and no momentum and you're not going anywhere. What we're doing is we're building momentum, a stable, fast momentum. That momentum is what draws the other people in. But if we don't have momentum, other people aren't drawn, or we have to go recruit them in.
Right.
And it's work to keep them up to pace. They're like, come on, guys, we got to hit our numbers for this month, right? Because they weren't up the momentum. You didn't have the momentum to draw them in. And that's why stay in your sweet spot as much as you can every day is the recipe for success, period.
That that's great. And just two things that just come to mind I want to mention. So one is, so like you're saying, it shouldn't be, things shouldn't, from the Abraham philosophy, it shouldn't be a lot of effort, right? I mean, I was at I was at an Abe Hicks event, and she had everybody was raising their hand to ask a question, and Esther was pointing at someone in the back of the room, and nobody knew who it was, and she's saying, no, not you, no, not you, and no one knew who she was choosing. So that was the first time I ever saw this happen. She got off of the stage in the front of the room and walked all the way to the back of the room, grabbed the person by the hand. I probably told this story the last time, but it's great. She grabbed the person by the hand and walked with them all the way up to the front of the room, put that
Oh
person
my
in the hot
goodness.
seat, okay? And she said, now that's how the law of attraction is supposed to work. You don't have to go to, things, things are supposed to come to you.
Oh, that's a good one.
And because everybody was, first of all, when she got off the stage and started walking down into the room, everybody was turning their heads like, oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one. Yeah.
Right. But that was such a great visual example. It's like, yeah, it's supposed to just flow to you easily. There's not supposed to be a lot of effort involved. Right. But then the other thing and this is a question, and this will help me, from, and a lot of the entrepreneurs out there. So when you're saying, just to clarify, you're saying momentum and stability, which I love that idea, that pair.
It's the first time I've ever said that.
Really?
That's the first time I've ever brought that clarity to the, yeah. So that's.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I thought maybe that was a thing that you've, said before. For yourself.
I've had aspects of it, but the way I described it here was very clear.
No, excellent. So the stability. Now, some people are like, I'm in a mastermind group with other entrepreneurs building, trying to build businesses and stuff. And there's a thing about planning, some kind of planning. Like, so what exactly, again, are you saying is the stability part of it? Or do you think about, is there any kind of planning that you would do, or is it just kind of in the moment, I'm having fun. Okay. Do you make the fun create your to-do list, or do you also have some kind of a plan?
Okay. This is a good point, because there are some people that have a natural tendency to plan more. They appreciate planning. They like planning. And there's others who like to go with the flow.
Right.
They're both valuable, but some, so in dealing who you are, this is how I see the planners.
Mm-hmm.
Get in the receptive mode and let your plan come to you while you're in alignment.
Yes. Okay.
Don't have this like, if you wake up and you feel pressure and you feel like you have a to-do list and you're like, I should meditate, but I don't have time.
Right.
You're not in alignment. You're still in the life of effort. You're still in the life of taking action before you're in alignment. And that's, some people are coming from that place. Other people are just sitting on the couch watching TV, so to speak, and they're also not getting in alignment.
Very good.
So
the two extremes are
get in alignment.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Just that those two examples you gave are like two extreme scenarios, right? You're either doing a lot of action or you're sitting on the couch and doing nothing. It's like those two extremes. You're not in alignment.
I find that for me, when I'm happy, when I'm moving, and then I get the impulse to record a song, I do it right then.
Yes.
I don't operate with lists, because that doesn't fit my energy. That's why I said, if your energy, in your energy, you can actually visualize a 1, 5, 10-year plan, and your energy is different than mine, and your inner being is going to speak to you differently than my inner being speaks to me.
Right, good point.
There's a unique voice, and it's like, my 1-year plan, be happy. My 5-year plan, be happy. My 10-year plan, be happy. Now, how am I going to do that? I'm going to do what I love. So if you love planning weddings, if you love planning events, and you just get I can't wait to plan this, then you're in the receptive mode. But it's not because you're a planner, it's just because you're doing what you love. That's the key. Sometimes we're taught, look at Mr. or Miss So-and-so who's successful. This is 10 habits they did every day to be successful. And we go, I'm going to copy those 10 habits.
Yeah.
Why does it seem so hard? Because those aren't your 10 habits. They're your 10 habits. And you have to find your own 10 habits from your inner being. You can't, I wrote about this yesterday. You cannot, nobody else has the blueprint for your life except you and your inner being. So when you find yourself copying somebody or wanting to imitate somebody's good habits, more than likely you're out of alignment, unless it already was something you were feeling excited to do. Right.
I think so. I think that because a lot of times there is some excitement of someone as an example, as an example of how they're living, and then you're thinking, gee, that's kind of fun and interesting, and then you kind of can then you customize it, and maybe that's just like a step along the way to your finding your most authentic path.
Let me give you an example. Yeah. This will be a nice a balance to what I just said.
Okay.
There's a guy on the internet, on YouTube, and there have been other people who I've watched
Yeah.
who do like a daily vlog. And I just
Right.
let his experience, I've let his energy, I've let his life be an inspiration to me. And it's made me more willing to talk about my life, or it's kind of like giving me a push in the direction I was already going.
Yeah.
So I think there's a big difference, and there's a big difference in, I really want to start a business, but I don't know how. I'm going to go to this conference, and they're going to teach me how to start a business, because they're going to be very motivating, and they're going to be best-selling authors, and I'm going to pay them some money, and they're going to give me a plan to follow. And see what it is, that's all external.
Okay. Right. Mm-hmm.
That's all external. That's all. If I can find this solution, then I will find what I need. The difference is this. I love singing. I love video. I love this. Ooh, this guy does it too. Let me learn from him. Oh, he does this one technique. I haven't thought of that. Ooh, I want to try that. See what the difference is. I've already got momentum of something I love doing. Someone else is showing me what they love doing, and we're learning from each other. That's different than, I don't know how to do this. You do. Teach me.
Right.
Very different. It feels very different.
Yeah.
I've been to those conferences. I've been to conferences that were going to change my life, and I took notes, and I paid money, and I was like, And in the end, I felt like I was just in the end, I was discouraged.
Yeah.
Because I still wasn't following my inner being's guidance. I got to say it again. Find your sweet spot and stay there. That's the only way to be happy and successful. Get to know what your sweet spot feels like. It's not going to be like anybody else's.
Right. And so, and a practical step that you can tell people, or just for finding their own sweet spot, is, I mean, I have an idea, but I want you to tell them. Like if they say, well, I don't know what I love to do. Yeah.
Well, it's whatever feels fun to you, whatever you're eager to do, and find ways to do it, and get yourself in a place where you have some time to yourself. It's true that some people can stay so busy that from morning till evening they're on the go.
Right.
And if you're on the go from morning till evening, you stop for 10 minutes, the momentum of your day is going to push through that 10 minutes. You have to take, whether it's a morning walk, whether it's a meditation, whether it's a bath, whether it's listening to a guided meditation. Find out what it does, what does it for you, and be faithful to get yourself in the place where you're in the receptive mode. It's a very different way to live, Lynn. In the take action mode versus the receptive mode are two very different ways to live, and the energy feels different. And some people who are in the habit of the energy of the take action mode find the receptive mode a little bit disconcerting because it doesn't feel like enough's going on.
Right.
And there is a period of trust that says, I want to live from the sweet spot. And even though this is taking me some time, I'm still going to keep going back to my sweet spot. And eventually my productivity will skyrocket because now I'm in the vortex. Now I'm in the receptive mode as opposed to just working my butt off. If you're feeling productive because you're working 70 hours a week, you're not in receptive mode.
Right. Very good. Yeah.
Unless you're 70 hours of joy, which I can't say that's not possible.
Right. Exactly. And so for you, I know Abraham lately has been talking about that, getting into the receptive mode first thing during the day, before you start your day. And I've been working on doing that myself. I have a little group of people that we've been doing a little experiment with that. What do you do to get into the receptive mode? Is it at the beginning of your day? What do you just start? Do you wake up singing?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that question. Let's remember, Abraham is Esther's inner being, and along with a collective of teachers.
Yeah.
I don't do anything for 30 days. I don't have breakfast oftentimes. I don't wake up and do first thing. I just wake up and let the day unfold. Wonderful. And I'm the kind of person that I don't need, if I wake up and I feel a little groggy or whatever, I'm like, that's okay. If I wake up and I feel a little sluggish, that's okay. I just keep leaning in the direction of alignment, and then I catch it. There is no, a lot of the processes of Abraham are based on Esther's lifestyle. People don't know that. They're based on the way Esther lives. I never make lists. I don't need a list. I like my life being unstructured so I can follow my inspiration. That would drive some people crazy. So do what works for you. But the fact that Abraham has spoken these processes doesn't mean that they're somehow from heaven and they need to be followed. It's like they talked about there's so many other processes that we haven't even spoken of, and I don't use any processes. I sing and I walk and I focus on a better feeling thoughts.
Right. So, but when you, I mean, it does seem like right. You like to take walks when, I mean, you get your most inspiration. These songs come through to you mostly when?
Quite often when I'm out and about walking, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I need to move my energy.
Right. So that I guess walking for you is one way that it just automatically gets you into the receptive mode, being outdoors.
I would say so.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to live in. That's why I like to live in places where you can walk all year. Pretty much.
Right, and in nature, or not even in nature, right? Because a lot of times it looks like sometimes, like before, I was thinking, where is he walking? Is it like a commercial area? One of the things.
Around town, yeah, just around. I walk almost everywhere, just around town.
So the inspiration can come to you. It doesn't have to be in a quiet place in the woods. It could be just in the street, and. Right, feeling good is an internal thing, and it doesn't matter about the environment, really. I guess
when I wake up, my receptivity is clear, and sometimes I'll post 3 or 4 or 5 things before I get out of bed. Other days I'll be like, oh, this song just came to me, and it will like burst me out of bed. But it's all about the receptive mode and the sweet spot. And what I would tell people is find that receptive mode and follow the impulses. And follow the impulses is little by little, but the more you follow the impulses, the more frequent and the bigger they become.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that just reminds me of 2 things. One is, that's what I was going to say before, a lot of things that Esther and Abe say is that it's all about inspired action, not just taking action for action's sake, or just taking action and figuring things out. It's that when you get in that receptive mode, or you're in the feeling good place, and then all of a sudden you get these ideas out of the blue, that's the action to take, and do it immediately. And actually, and the second part of that is, and that's why we're on this call today, because doing this interview, because watching your stuff and whatever, and I was in a very, inspired mode there, and it was fun, and you're all about fun and the music, and all of a sudden I thought, gee, you know what? And it's not like I was trying to think, let me see, who could I interview? I wasn't thinking that. It just was like that idea came, gee, that would be a great interview to do, interview Tim. And with the songs and everything. And then the other part is, a lot of times for entrepreneurs or anybody doing something new or something that we haven't spoken before, people get nervous. So they think, well, I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. How could I do that the first time? Sometimes, a lot of times you do something for the first time and it scares you, but you just do it anyway. Try to feel it and make it as fun as possible and do it anyway. Yeah. I think that's part of following inspired action, because sometimes fear comes up anyway.
If you get in a receptive mode, yes, I get. Sometimes the next logical step for me, the next logical step of going to the workshop in Del Mar, and getting there and getting home and all this didn't feel easy. It didn't feel easy. Exactly. But it felt inspired. Yeah.
It's like the bulk of it, and I think sometimes they even said something like, it's almost like a proportion thing. Like if it's mostly, well, I think that she was saying that about energy, as far as like, even if, say, most of your day, as an example, in a broader sense, if most of your day, say, if you've been 50% positive vibration and 50% negative, if you begin to get into more of, 51% positive and 49% negative, just that little, it's that proportion that it actually makes a big difference. So I think, even if you're mostly inspired and everything, but you have a little bit of fear, as you say, lean into it, or give into that moment anyway. And, and the momentum, I guess there's more positive momentum than negative momentum, the little bit of the fear. So that'll take you pretty darn far. Even if, there's always going to be a little contrast, like they teach, right? I mean, that's that's part of the game here. That's what, we're not about a feathered nest, as they say. We're about expanding. And actually, just maybe kind of to sort of wrap things up in a way, or you have this thing about the here, it's right here, a post about going general and being specific. Do you want to say a little bit about that, or something that you want to kind of, leave people off with?
Yeah, I posted that the other day. I love taking the concept and really fleshing it out a bit. And Abraham said, unless you're on the highest of flying discs, it's best to stay general. And I think they say that we kind of like drama and we like, action. So sometimes we get specific even when it's a negative vibration or negative topic. But really, the songs are about going general.
Right.
Like the song goes, do you ever find yourself in a nasty, stinky mood and you really don't know what to do? You got to go general. You got to go general. You got to go general. Take your mind off the problem and let it all go.
Excellent.
So it really addresses the issue of, I need to dig into this problem. We need to just take this problem apart and dissect this. If you want more of it,
yeah.
But if you don't, go general. So, all is well, take a nap, listen to music. It's really giving up on the idea or the impulse that a problem needs to be attacked head on, which a lot of us are taught.
Right.
It's like, no, you need to get in the sweet spot, get in the receptive mode, get in the allowing mode, and then that problem will start to diffuse. But it takes practice because we have almost like a knee-jerk reaction to, of course, if there's a fire, there are some things that you have to take care of, but let it go. And that's what going general is about. And I write some things on there about what it means and appreciate what you have. But the biggest thing in that is give yourself permission to not address the problem straight on if it's not a good feeling thing, because you can't solve a problem when you jump in the hole with the problem. Now you're in the hole too, and you've lost your power. You've lost your the power of alignment.
Right, and that's and again, this is another example of why I keep talking about Abraham's philosophy teachings, because I do practice this kind of thing, and when I'm doing it right or when I'm doing it well, it's true. I know it's like, okay, something's bothering you, just drop it and go distract yourself with something pleasant. And a lot of times, once you're in that better mode, then you get the idea of, or say you can't find something. Say, you're looking for something in your house or whatever, your apartment, whatever. And you're trying hard, you can't find it. I know then to just drop it, think about it, or do something else, or go to sleep, right? Sometimes you've got a real negative momentum going on during a day, and it's like, you know what? Just, if it's nighttime, just go to sleep. And then you get that recharge or that recalibration the next morning, and then either you have the clarity then, the alignment then, to either figure, you have the inspired idea of what to do that is a positive action to take, or if in the case there's something you can't find. I mean, so many times this has happened where then all of a sudden the thing was right there. I don't even know how come I couldn't find it yesterday, but I wasn't in that mode. Have you noticed? I mean, have you noticed that yourself?
Well, it's a great point. I'm still learning a lot about that, because there's part of me that, especially with electronics or technology, I want to dig in. I want to solve the problem. And the other day, something wasn't working right on my phone or something. I just wanted to sleep, and I said, wait a minute, just do this tomorrow. And the next day I woke up, and both of the solution came, and it was easy peasy.
Exactly.
But in the moment I was frustrated, it's like when Esther talked about, the moment you're frustrated is the worst time to try to solve the problem. But it's like, but wait a minute, that's why I want to solve it, because I'm frustrated.
It's such a tease. Yeah. It's like you just have to. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, that's really what the learning, the art of allowing is. It's finally, and we're going to have to learn through experience. So there's going to be a lot of times we try to attack the problem head on and go, it didn't work again this time.
Right.
Until we finally go, you know what, I've seen this story before. I'm going to let it go.
Right.
Because there's something in us that wants to, it's like if there's a mosquito on your arm, you want to swat it. It's just almost that visceral.
It's a knee-jerk reaction.
It's like just a knee-jerk reaction. And so really learning the art of allowing to me is accepting. Like, I've had things literally disappear from my experience. I'm like, I have no explanation. I looked and looked and looked, and I can't find it anywhere. And I'm like,
right.
Alignment trumps everything. It's a fun experience. It's always something more to learn. That's all I can say. It's just still like fascinating.
Excellent. And sort of on that note, alignment trumps everything. I love what you say. I think I've said that myself. Alignment trumps everything, and in a way, this whole thing is like a practice, like they say about yoga, right? They call it a practice. Like, you never get perfect at it. It's a practice.
Yeah, practice.
Maybe there's some yoga teachers, instructors who are going to be listening to this, and they can relate to that. Is there something, any tip and or song that you would like to wrap this up with to get people leaving on a high vibration, which I'm sure they already are on, but
yeah. I know we are.
Thank you. Yes.
I know, right?
Any song or
let me see, what's the best way to end it here?
Something that was fun for you today, maybe?
How about this one that we did at the workshop, and it's everything's unfolding perfectly for me. Everything's unfolding perfectly for me. Everything's unfolding perfectly for me. Everything's unfolding perfectly for me.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I want to just make sure that we get also one last time, if you could tell people if they want to follow you and learn more about you and your songs, and how can they get that information? You mentioned it before, but if you want to say.
Yeah. Well, Facebook, it's my name, Tim McGinnis, or you can just type Dream Catalyst, DREAM Catalyst, CATALYST, one word, at the end of either Facebook or YouTube, and I think it's even my name on SoundCloud. But once you get in there, you can send me a message, and we'll make sure that it all works out. Okay,
and I'm just going to say also Tim McGinnis, right? Tim and then McGinnis, McGinnis, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tim, for sharing.
Thank you. Did we have fun? I think we did.
Oh, yay! Yes, we did. We definitely did.
Splish, splish, splash, tick tock. You know what time it is? It's feel good to talk. I said splish, splash, tick tock. You know what time it is? It's feel good to talk. I said, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's feel good to talk. It's feel good to talk. I said, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's feel good to talk. It's feel good to talk.
All right, beautiful. Thank you so much, Tim. I'm going
Thank
to
you, man.
And again, Lynn Girardi from WholeLifeBoogie.com. Please check out Tim McGinnis on Facebook and all the other places, and we'll send you that information.
All the places.
All over the place. He's just like Mr. Fun all over the place. So thanks, Tim.
Oh, I'm all over the place.
All right, have a great day.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Toodle.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.